Yo, what's good? I'm the real deal, and today we're gonna talk about why I decided to become a music producer. Let's go. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I highly encourage you to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and please give the video a thumbs up so people can see the video like, yo, the video's kind of dope. So today is a very boring video, so if you're not interested in listening to my story, you can go ahead and X out, but before you go, please leave a like. Anyways, I have been thinking a lot about my journey and what it is that I want out of everything that I'm doing right now. So, there goes Luigi. I decided to share with you guys the story of why I decided to become a music producer in the first place. The story starts way back when I was in middle school. Jackie, really? So the story starts way back when I was in middle school and I had just gotten into hip hop. So I was really into hip hop, and I was like, I need to study everything about hip hop. I need to be like the most knowledgeable person about hip hop. So I remember just around that era, started watching I started noticing this guy in a lot of videos that I would watch, and it turned out to be Pharrell. And it turned out that the reason why Pharrell was in Jay-Z's Give It To Me, and he was in Hot and Her, was because he produced a song. And then I was like, what does it mean to produce a song? And it turns out that when you produce a song, it means you make the beat for the song, and eventually you actually do all of it together. You put the whole thing together, whatever. And then I found out about Just Blaze, and I found out about Timbaland. The reason why I got really interested in music production was because of Kanye. And then I found out that Kanye produces his own stuff, and I was like, whoa, what? So he can produce and make his own stuff and write his own stuff? I was like, well, I'm already writing. I was like, the producing part. Somewhere down the line, I was like, I am not what hip hop looks like. So I was like, it's not my insecurities came and got the best of me, because I was like, there's no one in hip hop that looks like me. And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna make it. But if I'm over here making beats, I can still get some of the fame, I can still make some money, and I'm still making music. Eventually I could branch out and make my own music like Kanye did. So that was my game plan in my head for a while, and then I was just like, we'll see what happens. Remember, I was 18, I was working. I got myself this game called Music Maker on the PlayStation 2. And it just had a whole bunch of loops and like sounds. So I made a beat, and I would try to make beats, but it was trash. It was just and it's not that I was really terrible at the time. It was just the fact that the sounds that were available were just trash. Add that to the fact that I was trashed. I was just double trash. Well, I started college, and my parents got me a laptop so I can get focused on my studies. And the first thing I did with my first paycheck was I bought myself Sony Avid Music Studio, I think it was called. I don't remember. And I started making beats, and I recorded my first song. I wrote the lyrics, I wrote a hook, and I recorded it, and I was playing it in my iPod, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then I had friends at work, and they were like, oh, we should have a session one of these days. And I was like, I don't think I want to call it my studio, because my studio is literally my bedroom, and my bedroom's a mess. Anyways, so a couple of years later, I moved back home after I finished culinary school, and one of my sister's friends, he was on the come up with his music, and he was selling shirts in order to make a little money. And I was like, tell him I'll buy a shirt. I was like, tell him I'll buy a shirt if he hooks me up with FL Studio. So my sister talked to him. He said, yeah, for sure. He came through. He was like, here's your shirt. I gave him the money. And then he just plugged in the flash drive into my laptop, and he installed FL Studio. In the day, it was called Fruity Loops. I remember that. Anyways, so I started fucking around with FL Studio, and for the life of me, I just couldn't figure it out. Every time I would start a new project, I'm like, okay, we're getting there. Okay, this sounds good. Then I try to add a sound, or I try to do something, and I would just get completely lost, and I couldn't backtrack the settings that I had created accidentally. So I would just X out of the project, come back again, and then if it was the same settings, I would just X out again, turn off the laptop. I was like, oh, I guess we'll try again tomorrow. And then it just became so frustrating to me that every single time I tried to make a beat and I'd make progress, I'd lose myself somewhere down the line because I couldn't figure it out. And then I tried looking up on YouTube, and I was like, well, he already looks like he has his shit figured out. How do I get to that? I was literally at the starting stages, and I couldn't figure it out. I got so frustrated, and I started slowing down with music. But I did end up making collabs. I did end up collabing with two of my friends. I had this guy I worked with, and he was like, yo, let's jam out. So we jammed out. He was like, yo, make me some beats, blah 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 blah. But then we stopped working together. And then I had another friend, and he was like, yo, I have a beat, and I had another producer make it, but let's record something together. So we actually recorded the whole track together now. That was actually pretty cool. Like, the whole collabing thing is really, really interesting to me. It's so interesting to just bounce ideas off your head with someone, because you're both doing something that you both love, and a lot of people don't understand. In 2013, I was like, Diana, you gotta be real with yourself. This isn't gonna happen. Let's move on. So what I did was I kind of dropped it. I had a SoundCloud and everything. I was even making trap beats back then. I dropped everything and I got into affiliate marketing. And this is the interesting thing, because I got into affiliate marketing and I learned how to create blog posts, and I got into SEO, and I got into like content creation and creating YouTube videos, and like building funnels, and like building email lists, and writing reviews, and all this stuff that helps people with like content marketing on the internet, like internet marketing. But it was just like, it felt like so much work. Like, and I struggled for it. Like, for a while, I had one website that was about video games, and all I did was talk about like Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and like all the video games I used to like to play when I was a kid. And it was doing very well with analytics. It wasn't really making me a lot of money. Fast forward to 2019, and I was working at a restaurant. I was running a restaurant before lockdown, and I got fired. And I was like, all right, cool. I have like $5,000 saved up. I was like, my monthly expenses, I reduced them to $450, and I moved back home with my parents. I was like, this is the year I make my dreams come true. And I put like a lot of work into affiliate marketing, and it just did not work out. Like, October of 2019 was my most successful month I've ever had with affiliate marketing, and I barely made $500. So I was like, this isn't gonna happen at the pace that I want it to happen. It's taking too much, and I get too easily distracted. So it's just like, I'm getting bored with it. So then one day I was like, okay, we need to figure out what we're gonna do for the year. For me, around October, November is when I start writing down my goals for the next year and how I plan to attack them. So the more thorough I am, the bigger chances I have of succeeding, because I've had things figured out for a while now. So I have a chance to start implementing my steps early on, because January 2nd, after January 1st, the January 1st hangover, if you haven't started on your shit, you're not gonna do anything, I promise you. That's just the way it works. So I sat down one day and I got a piece of paper, I had my notebook, and I opened it up and I just wrote, what do I want to do every day for the rest of my life that's gonna make me happy? What do I want my daily routine to look like? What do I want to tell people when they ask me, what do you do? When they ask me how I make money? When they ask me who I am? So I wrote down everything that I was doing at the time. I was waking up, I was writing blog posts, I was creating YouTube videos, I was going live on Facebook groups, I was like doing Facebook marketing, I was like doing Instagram engagement, I was on Twitter, I was on Pinterest. And then like I was running ads and shit, and it was just like, these are the things I'm doing every day right now. And then I wrote the things I want to be doing, and it was just like, make music. I want to tell people I'm an artist, I'm a music producer, and eventually own my own restaurant. And I was like, none of these things match anything on this side. I was like, we gotta start over. Bah, toss that shit out. I shut everything off. I stopped my auto renew and all my domain names. If you don't know what a domain name is, it's your .com. You have to pay for those yearly. It's like $10-12 a month. $10-12 a year. Canceled my hosting for my websites. I deleted one of my Facebook groups. I stopped everything. I was like, how are we gonna do this? I was like, okay, number one, we need a source of traffic so we can attract attention, so we can build a brand. I was like, let's go with YouTube, because I've always wanted to do YouTube. I was like, number two, I need a DAW. Number three, I need a MIDI keyboard or something, because like I said, that's my favorite part of music production. I was like, I need that too. And number three, I need a set of realistic goals of how I'm gonna achieve this. So, and I need, number four, I need a budget. That December, I dropped my first video on this channel, and back in the day, this channel was called The Animaster's Life, because I was supposed to talk about my music making, I was talking about my health, and I was gonna talk about affiliate marketing. And then I was like, we're back to doing the same thing where we get distracted with things that we don't want to do. So I was like, back to one, music production. So my first video I dropped, and then I dropped a second video, a third video. That's the one that went viral, and it's my most popular video to date. And it's really funny because it's the trashiest video I've ever posted on anything. Like, it's just the trashiest trash I've ever posted anywhere. And it's really funny because people watch that and they're like, you suck, you'll never be good. And I'm just like, number one, that was me 3 years ago. Number two, I had no idea how FL Studio worked. And number three, have you seen one of my videos lately? They're actually not that bad. By the way, I love y'all. I dropped the video on like, can you make a beat on FL Studio demo? And it blew up. And before that happened, that Christmas, Dad needed help with a moving job. He was like, yo, I need help with a moving job. I was like, all right, I got you. So I helped him out. He gave me $100. Well, he paid me $100. And then one of my neighbors, she was like, I'm going out of town. Can you watch the dogs? It's only for 3 days. She gave me $150. She paid me $150. So I had $250, and I was like, okay, we're off to a good start with this new mindset that we have towards achieving our goals. So I went ahead and I went to Guitar Center and I bought myself the Alesis V25 keyboard. I love that shit. That shit's so cute. And I started with FL Studio. I just could not figure it out for the life of me. And then I thought about Logic, but I was like, in order for me to have Logic, I need to get myself a Mac. And at the time I didn't have a Mac. So I was like, let's go with Ableton. So I tried out Ableton, and at the time I was using Ableton Lite. And then when like COVID happened, the pandemic, Ableton was offering a 90-day free trial of their full suite. And then they extended it to 6 months. And then they extended it, just kidding. So then I did it again. So I signed up for another 90 days. And then eventually I started paying it off monthly, and eventually I bought my own Ableton suite. So fast forward to today. Yeah, there's something about when I'm in here and I'm just like I hear something and I'm just like, and then it turns into a beat. I love it. So yeah, if you guys are still watching, I love y'all. I appreciate it. But yeah, just a little insight into my history on why I became a music producer, why I'm doing what I'm doing today. And the moral of the story is, just keep it real with yourself. We live in a time now where it is really possible to just do what you love and actually get paid for it. And that's all I gotta say for that. So I really do appreciate y'all watching my videos. That's gonna be it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And like always, don't sleep on me. Peace.